Satnam, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome everybody. Today is Tuesday and we have another in our continuing series, Your Miracle Mantra Moment. And I'll be checking in to see who's here in a little bit. So if you have any questions or if you'd just like to say hi and where you're logged in from in the comments section, I would appreciate that. And I'll check in with those shortly. Today we're going to, as always, start off by chanting Dhandan Ramdaskur, Jinsiriyatine Savarya. And then afterwards, I want to talk a little bit about Guru Ram Das, some history, a little bit about why and how he is who he is and why he holds that importance for us. And so I hope that'll be interesting. And right now I'm going to start. So there are two ways that this can be practiced. And I've mentioned this in the first few programs, and then the latter few programs I haven't always mentioned this. So you can simply meditate and listen or sing along. That's fine. Chant along. The words are online if you need to look for them. But if you'd like to practice this in a slightly different way, you can use a particular mudra, which is a hand position that affects the circuitry in our psyche in a way, particular way. And what it achieves, the benefit that you get, is that it helps your subconscious to lay down, to release fear of the future. And certainly right now with COVID-19, plenty of us have some level of anxiety or fear around, what's coming, what's tomorrow going to be like, and that kind of thing. So you can practice this with the mudra as well. So you take your right thumb sticking up and you wrap your left hand around it and make a fist around your thumb. And then you take your right fingers and bring them up around the back of your left hand. And you hold that just gently at your heart center, sitting straight, and your elbows are gently relaxed at your sides of your rib cage. Keep your head straight, your eyes can be closed, and your chin is just tucked in a little bit. And you're breathing long and deep, or you're chanting, either way. So we're going to start now, and then I'll talk afterwards. ब्रह्म का नाम सबकारिया, पर ब्रह्म का नाम सबकारिया, पर ब्रह्म का नाम सबकारिया। अतल अताहो अतोल तो तेरा अंतन पार वारिया। अतल अताहो अतोल तो तेरा अंतन पार पार उतारिया, जिन्नी तू सेविया बहुकार से तूने पार उतारिया, से तूने पार उतारिया, say to the Daria. काम क्रोध मोह मार खंडे तुझ से पार वारिया। नाम लोभ काम क्रोध मोह मार खंडे तुझ से पार वारिया। सच तेरा पैस काया सच तेरा पैस नानक तू रहना तू है गुर अमृत विचारिया नानक तू रहना तू है गुर अमृत मन सदारिया गुर तात मन सदारिया गुर तात मन सदारिया Satnam Vaheguru. So I'm going to bring my my computer a little closer so that I can see your comments. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Guru Nanak. So let's see, we have a bunch of people. We have Laura from Mexico, Sandra, and Jesse from Orange County, a regular, Vincenzo from Italy, Satnam, and we have Abiraj again, welcome, and Gulzan again too. And let's see, we have Sound Not Clear from HS Modi. Yeah, I've been working on the sound. I've been trying all kinds of things to get things a little better. And I apologize, keep working on it. Part of the the challenge is just working through Facebook. Um, I have now got my computer connected um, directly, not through Wi-Fi, using an Ethernet cable. That's supposed to improve things. Um, I'm using this new platform called StreamYard, and it has you can disable the sound compression setting, so that's supposed to help. But I don't know whether we're going to get there any better. And we have Satkriya from Ecuador, so welcome, and Ranjit Singh. There you go. So welcome everybody. And if a few of you are new to this series, I would welcome any questions you might have about this Shabad, this mantra, or about Guru Ram Das. That Guru Ram Das is the focal point for this Shabad, and I've talked in previous episodes of this series about how this came into being, this Shabad, this mantra, how it was composed, by whom and why. And so that's all in earlier sessions. But I thought today I would talk a little bit about Guru Ram Das himself, because some of you may not know much about him. And so Guru Ram Das was the fourth Sikh Guru, and he came from very humble origin. His family was quite poor. His parents both died, and he was brought up by his grandmother. And as a child, he had to help bring money in for the family to support everybody, and so he did whatever he could. And there are stories about how he would sell basically garbanzo beans or chickpeas that were cooked, and then he would sell them as a kind of street food on the street and as a way to earn money. His grandmother would cook them, and then he would take them out and sell them. And so from those days of that fairly economically challenged beginning, he had a lot of experience of what that life was like. Later, he made his way to Goindwal, which if you've been to northern India, it's a small town in the Punjab, and it's where Guru Amar Das was residing at this time, and it was an epicenter of activity. And in fact, there's a very famous landmark there in Goindwal, Boli Sahib, which is a pretty deep well that was dug. And the well, of course, it was dug in a practical sense to help provide water for the community. But it's also become a place of pilgrimage. And there is a beautiful practice, a sadhana, that people do, where the steps, in India, you don't always just dig a well straight down. The tradition was more to dig it at an angle because it was easier. You could carry the dirt back up the way you were, so back and forth, and you go a little deeper, and then you carry the dirt out. And so this particular well has 84 steps. And it's said that it will bring a miracle of healing if you can, on each of those 84 steps, recite Japji Sahib fully, and then go to the bottom of the well and have a dip in the water, and then come back up to the next step. And you do this for all of those 84 steps. It takes a long time. Some people will take breaks. Others will try to do it all in one go. And depending on how fast you can recite Japji Sab, that's how long it's going to take you. So when Guru Amar Das was living in Goindwal, this is when Ram Das, before he became Guru, came to serve the third Guru, Guru Amar Das. And he actually helped in the digging of the well. He also married the daughter of Guru Amar Das. So, his place in life started to change when he began serving Guru Amar Das, the third Guru. And even though his status became much higher, he never forgot those early experiences. So much so that throughout the time that later when he became Guru, he made every effort to serve the poor, to serve the underprivileged in any way that they could. And serving food. It is said that at night, as people would come into the town for shelter, travelers, sometimes pilgrims, that Guru Ram Das, even though he was Guru by that time, he would put aside his regal clothing that he had been given to serve as Guru, that he would wear very refined silk clothing and that kind of thing. But in the night he would put those clothes aside and he would put on simple clothes of a farmer, so he wouldn't be recognized. And then go out into the town and help to serve those travelers, those pilgrims, helping them find places to rest, getting food for them, even washing their feet. Washing their feet has a lot of significance in India. It's maybe a strange thing to the West to understand what that is, but a lot of people back then especially may not have had shoes. They couldn't afford them, and it was a luxury. Even if they had shoes, they were more likely to be some kind of open-toed sandals. And so the street, the roads of India, even now, are some of the dirtiest places you can imagine. And so to cleanse someone's feet from a day of traveling would bring so much relief to those people, just the soothing quality of it, but also washing away all the dirt of the road. And so they could rest the night feeling at least, somewhat cleansed, somewhat separated from that. And so that's what he would do. And it's also a huge sign of respect to touch someone's feet. And so the act of actually washing someone's feet was the lowest, how do you say this? The supreme act of humility. Let me put it that way. And so Guru Ram Das would do that. And then often the next day those same pilgrims might come into his court to hear him or to take a vision of him and as Guru. And then they would suddenly recognize that, oh, this is the same person who had come and helped them the night before. How did Guru Ram Das come to be that, to be able to manifest that level of compassion, service, and humility? Well, there's no one answer. But as you look at the events of Ram Das's life when he was young, you can see that he had lived through some challenging times and probably gone hungry many days. And so it was from that particular perspective that that informed him. But I would also say that another major role in elevating Ram Dass from just the boy, the young man, into a place of enlightened spiritual awakening was his time spent serving and being with Guru Amar Das, the third Guru. And we can only imagine what that could have been like, but by the time that Ram Dass came to be around Guru Amar Das, there was a lot of recognition that Amar Das, that the Guru Amar Das was the manifestation, the continuing manifestation of that light of Guru Nanak, and then Guru Angad, and then finally Guru Amar Das. And people came from hundreds of miles around to come and be in the presence of Guru Amar Das. He was, no doubt, a very strong presence. He had a great spiritual subtlety that I'm sure affected everyone who came in his presence. But also, young Ram Dass had a special relationship that as Ram Dass started to do seva, selfless service, around Goindwal, that Amar Das, Guru Amar Das, observed that dedication and that devotion that was manifest by Ram Dass. And so he reached out. Guru Amar Das reached out to young Ram Dass as a boy, as a young man, and extended his hand, extended his availability. And no doubt there was a lot of teaching that was taking place for a few years there, where Ram Dass was serving the court of Guru Amar Das. And as I say, at some point through this time, it was decided that Ram Dass would make a fitting husband to the daughter of Guru Amar Das. So that was arranged, and then Ram Dass becomes part of the family, and as such gains even more access and more. The relationship between them must have intensified as he was around, as Ram Dass was around Guru Amar Das more and more. And so by the time that it is the end of Guru Amar Das's life, Ram Dass has proved himself quite well to Guru Amar Das, and in such a way that as Guru Amar Das is thinking, well, where will this light of Guru Nanak go next? Who is the person who will be able to hold that? Who will be able to sustain their balance, their inner strength, as that light manifests within them? Because it was not merely just a title, but it is a huge spiritual awakening of consciousness, as that light from one guru would merge into the person of the successor. And Guru Ram Das even wrote about this later, that time of the merger from Guru Amar Das to Guru Ram Das. Now, with some gurus, that happened after the time of the body dying. But in this case, actually, Guru Amar Das lived on a little longer. he recognized that it was time for him to pass that light and allow it to start to flower within Ram Dass. And so that transition happened fully alive and conscious. And so Guru Amar Das made his declaration that Ram Dass was to be the next guru, and he brought before him a coconut and 5 coins, which was the tradition to recognize the guru. And he placed that in front of young Ram Dass. And even though it was the tradition that Ram Dass had for years bowed to Guru Amar Das, in that moment, Guru Amar Das bowed to Ram Dass. And so in one of Guru Ram Dass's compositions, he talks about the flow of the river changing directions, and instead of going from west to east, went from east to west. And that was the recognition. It was so great, the change, that you could compare it to changing the direction of a river flowing. And so the years went by, and in actual fact, Guru Ram Dass was not guru for that long. I think only 7 years. And but in that time, he had a profound effect on the consciousness of what we recognize as Sikhi or Sikh Dharma. That he brought an expanded sense of deep meditative compassion. There's the story of Baba Siri Chand, who was the eldest son of Guru Nanak and who had practiced very strict yogic practices and had gone along a different path, had not followed the path of his father exactly. And it is said that when Guru Nanak passed away, and then the Guru, the light of that seat, that throne, was given to Angad, and then Angad to Amar Das, it was said that Baba Siri Chand did not agree with that, and he felt that people should then come and recognize him, because that was the tradition of India culture, was that anything that passed from once the father dies, then the property, the business, whatever, gets passed to the eldest son. And so that did seem to be, in some people's thinking, the way it should have gone. And it didn't, and that's just the way it is, because Guru Nanak, in the same way that Guru Amar Das had to choose somebody, Guru Nanak recognized that, no, this isn't to go to Siri Chand, it's to go to Angad, So he could see the clarity of why and how that would work through his spiritual vision, And so it was that Baba Siri Chand, because of his practices, he lived a long time. And I think he was about mid-80s, 86, I think, when he declared that he'd like to meet Guru Ram Das. And so he started traveling toward where Guru Ram Das was. By this time, Guru Ram Das had established what we now call Amritsar. But at that time, it was called Ramdaspur, meaning city of Ram Das. And so as Baba Siri Chand leaves, but sends word ahead that he's coming, also Guru Ram Das starts traveling toward Baba Siri Chand in a sign of humility, in a sign of recognizing that here is a blood relative of Guru Nanak, who has made the effort to come and see Guru Ram Das. So he also makes effort in recognition of that status, and as they meet, You know, Baba Siri Chand is said to have been able to see the depth of consciousness within Guru Ram Das, to see it as it manifests, to see it so equally deep as his father's, Guru Nanak, and acknowledging that that light has indeed passed from Guru Nanak, through Guru Angad, through Guru Amar Das, and now manifests clearly in this being, this new being, Guru Ram Das. And so Guru Ram Das in his time, he brought us a lot of understanding of this consciousness, of taking time to go in and be in a deep meditation. We see that later in the other gurus as well. Guru Hargobind especially, meditating for years in a sort of underground cave. But this real deep practice of compassion and deep meditation, it really comes through in Guru Nanak. And so as he developed the city, he founded the city because Guru Amar Das had told him to go and find a place, a peaceful place, an appropriately special place to start a new community. And the Guru Ram Das had found this natural spring that had healing qualities. And then he built what we call the sarovar, the tank of water, initially fed by that spring. And so, he conceived of the Golden Temple being in the center. It was actually later built by the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan. But it was Guru Ram Das, who really manifest in a vision the idea of what we now call Amritsar. And he established that place with so much heart and so much love and compassion for all people that there were certain things that got implemented based on that. So if you go and visit the Hari Mandir, the Darbar Sahib Amritsar, the Golden Temple, what you notice is that it's surrounded by this peaceful body of water, a tank of water, that immediately sets it apart from the rest of the world. It's like it's in this special zone, and that there are 4 sides to the building, and each side has a door that gives access, and a big double door. And the intention or the symbology there is that the consciousness of the spiritual teachings is available to all from all 4 directions. And the idea that anyone can come and, experience that however they experience it. There was the Langar program that developed, and now if you go there, it feeds 50,000 people a day, and on big holidays, 200,000 people. And it's just like there is no other place on the planet like Harimandir. And it all connects to Guru Ram Das. So when you go there, you spend a few hours there, you will definitely hear this Shabad, Dandan Ram Das Guru, played. Because everyone who goes there connects to Guru Ram Das through their heart, in their devotion. And it's such a well-known Shabad that, you'll hear as people are walking around doing things, sort of as a mantra, just saying to themselves, Dandan Ram Das Guru, Dandan Ram Das Guru. because they see that, they acknowledge it. They understand the great blessing that Guru Ram Das gave all these future generations to establish that place as a place to come and have your soul recharged and nourished. So I am just going to check the feed. Yeah, so some people are saying the sound is perfect, and some people are saying the sound isn't. I don't know. Yeah, Jesse is saying crystal clear on my end. Okay. Sirikar, good to see you from Montana. And Puram, Sat Sri Akal. And we have, let's see, Agam Jot. So Satnam, is chanting this Shabad for 11 minutes a day enough to see the full effect? I'm actually chanting the version by you, Pripal Singh. It is best to say my prayer at the end of the Shabad. Okay, well, is 11 minutes enough? That's a very tricky question, because as soon as you say yes, it's enough, then it just might not be. So you have to answer that question yourself. Certainly, you could do it longer, 22 minutes, 31 minutes, 2.5 hours, every day, whatever speaks to you. But clearly it's a practice, and it's a way that we can connect to our inner self, to the divine within us, to God. And so we touch on that humility of Guru Ram Das, that grace, that seva. And as we do that, we bring it into ourselves. It's like we engage with an archetype within us. We can call it Guru Ram Das. Guru Ram Das lives within us. And that's the practice, that as we chant this, we open to that possibility more and more. So the longer you chant it, the more likely that will be felt within you, the more likely that you'll be able to carry it and sustain it through the day. So let's say Siri Kirtan is there, and Lynn. Yeah, that's what Agam Jot Singh was asking right there. And so the last thing you asked there, Agam Jot, about when or where to say a prayer. Yeah, so either, of course, during, before, after. I think I'd like to speak about prayer maybe on Thursday, because I have some thoughts about the language of prayer that might be of value to people as we pray silently within ourselves. But it's also the tradition in Sikh Dharma that we do Ardas, which is a shared prayer spoken aloud. And so I can speak about all of that on Thursday, if that's what people might like to do. We have, Sir Kirtan from Surrey, Canada. Thank you. And I'm going to wrap it up now and put a bow on it. For those of you who came, I appreciate you tuning in. Please like it. Please share it. It'll live forever, I think, on our Facebook page. And I'm always grateful in these moments to Guru Ram Das. I feel that when we chant that Shabad, Guru Ram Das is with us. I feel that in my heart, and I'm grateful. And so whatever benefit that this program has given to anyone, I give that all to Guru Ram Das. And I hope that you will stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home if you can. And we'll see you on Thursday, or back on Tuesday next week. Also on Friday, we have a guest for the Home Kirtan Chat program Some of you may be aware of his music, some of you might not. His name is Hansu Jotsing, and so that'll be at the same time as this program, but on Saturday. And he's going to play some music, and we're going to talk, and I look forward to seeing you all back then, I hope. All right, thanks again. Satnam, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.